All right, what you got?
So I'm just gonna throw this one at you.
All right.
And I already know the answer to this question. So maybe I'm gonna ask you this question and I'm gonna answer it for you. Then you can tell me if I'm crazy. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Is your glass half full or half empty? What the fuck is up? Half empty, half full crew.
Doing it again.
By crew, I just mean two.
The two crew.
My partner in crime, Trevor.
And Drew.
What's up, Trevor?
What's new?
Hey, my man, I understand you had a birthday.
I did, and I didn't tell no one.
Well, I already knew.
You already knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just weren't here, so I couldn't blast you.
Yeah, but there was other people I didn't tell.
So you showed me your kick-ass drone you got for your birthday.
Man, too cool, bro. Yeah, so anybody that doesn't know me, I went and I bought a drone like 2 weeks ago, and my dog ate it. I told my brother about it.
While you were here podcasting.
While I was here podcasting. Yeah, what a bummer deal. Went home and man, I was pretty upset. But no, my brother pulled through. Thanks, Jace, for the awesome drone, and he picked me up a drone, dude.
Is this your drone? Is this drone's better, right?
Yeah, yep. It's quite a bit step up from the one that I picked up. I just went and got like $100 little chintzy one from the Walmart.
So what have you been droning?
I've only gone out a couple times, but I went out to the park and I got a really cool shot of the mountains right there. I'm going to take it out again later today and really mess around with it.
Sounds boring.
It's not boring. You're boring. No, dude, you can do it. It comes with all kinds of cool features. You can set it up to where you don't even have to piss with it. It'll follow you to where you can go, do whatever, fishing or whatever. So it's really going to tie into a lot of the shit that I enjoy, like to do.
Are you just going to fly it over you and Kim not catching any fish and record that shit all day?
Are you just going to bag on me all day? Yes, I will.
Well, let me wish you a happy birthday.
Thanks, brother.
I also want to wish my beloved daughter a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Matt.
Today is her birthday.
Yep.
24 fucking years old.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And why I bring that up is, well, obviously, number one, I love her. But number two, look at these badass chairs we're sitting in. We got some customized free living chairs.
Free living. If anybody heard our show last week, we're gonna have a lot of little remarks, I think. But yeah, I love the free living shirts, dude. They're awesome.
So I was trying to say free balling and ad libbing and somehow got confused, which I don't know why I'd be saying free balling. Like, I'm not sitting here rolling commando podcasting. Right. But anyway, it came out free living. So as a joke or whatever, we get these couple T-shirts in the mail that say free living.
It's awesome, brother.
So
I love the support
from,
we started this thing a couple months ago, and just a couple dudes on a dumb idea just wanting to talk.
Right.
We got our little room set up. We got our little mascot. Everything's coming together, man.
Yeah. And so, Lando, we rub Tucker for luck before we start every podcast. Yep. So Trevor, down there tried to make out with him today. I just kind of gave him like a little muzzle scratch and head scratch.
I did it for you, dude. I know that you want more people listening, so I figured if we did a little Tucker prayer and rubbed his mane for maybe 15 listeners, dude, that we might get that one day.
Yeah. Tucker is badass, isn't he?
He is, bro.
I wish people could see him. Maybe I'll post a picture of him.
Pretty soon you'll all be able to see us. We're gonna get a camera up in here, and we're gonna be legit, Drew.
Our website's in the process of being built.
Right.
Real reputable company. It's going to be a kick-ass website with everything on there. People can, I guess, even ask questions. That would be fun when we get to a point where idiots can ask us questions.
Ask the idiots.
Yeah. Well, let's roll right into this. You know the drill.
Let's start it, man. Start
you know the drill. Trevor.
Yes, sir.
Would you rather swim in a pool of Nutella or maple syrup?
Nutella, because I don't really like sticky shit, and I think it'd be a lot less sticky than syrup.
I went with Nutella because I fucking love Nutella.
I love Nutella. Yeah, it's better than syrup.
Yeah.
And a lot less sticky.
Yeah, I love Nutella.
Yeah.
I'd bathe in Nutella just because I love it.
Do you put Nutella on weird shit?
Well, what do you mean by weird?
I don't know.
Like, I don't put it on my dick or anything.
Is your dick weird?
I don't know. Do you want to see it?
No, I'm just saying, some people put it on toast. You can put cheese on your celery. Would you put Nutella on
I'd
celery?
put Nutella on fucking anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Chicago one year and went to this little like creperie thing and had like a Nutella crepe. And I didn't want to stop eating.
You're like, what the crepe is this?
Yeah. It was so delicious.
All right. Well, then that answers that. All right. I got one for you, bud. Would you rather be able to talk to animals or speak foreign language?
Well, I'm going with talking to animals because I want to talk to my puppy Lion.
Do you want to talk to him or do you want to know what Lion's really thinking?
No, I want to have a fucking conversation with him.
Full blown, like, man, I've had it.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine that if he like looked at me and he was like, yeah, Mom said if I keep being bad, you guys are going to give me away for adoption. Do it, motherfucker. See how long it takes before I get adopted. You know, don't dare me with a good time.
That's right. Yep. I'll start shitting and pissing everywhere. You ain't going to adopt me out.
Or as my buddy Clark would say, don't piss on my leg and try to tell me it's raining.
Right? I myself, dude, I'm going to go with the same thing. I want to know what Boots is thinking. I want to know what he's really thinking when I'm talking to him because I always think it's something cute, but he's probably thinking, you're a fucking dork.
Yeah. This is what he hears when you talk to him.
Right, and he's looking at me the whole time just like,
give me a fucking milk bone.
give me a bone. Let me fuck something, you idiot.
All right, this is kind of a cool question. Would you rather be the main character in an action-packed thriller or a romantic comedy?
Action-packed. I can't do the romantic stuff. I'm not too romantic.
This one I had to think about because my follow-up question is, who's the leading lady?
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So let me change that. Now your dream crush, Sofia Vergara, is the leading lady. Are you fighting bad guys or are you banging Sofia Vergara?
I think I'm going to be fighting the bad guys to bang Sophia. I think that's how it's going down. We could make it both.
Yeah. Well,
An action-packed romance thriller.
An action-packed porno.
Yeah.
What would your porno name be? Girth Brooks?
Dong Mahoney.
Well,
Schlong Mahoney.
I'm definitely going action thriller.
Yeah.
I already got my leading lady, so there would be no point in being in a romantic comedy unless she was starring in it.
Right.
But oh yeah, and if I could choose, it would have to be a ninja movie.
Oh yeah, all
like
the way.
Ninja Assassin
From the
2.
80s.
Can you imagine if I was starring in Ninja Assassin 2?
That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah, fucking A.
I'd go for it. All right, dude. Let me ask you: would you rather go into the past and meet your ancestors, or go into the future and meet your great grandchildren?
This is an easy one. I'm going into the future.
Yeah?
I'm going into the future to meet my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, my great-great-grandchildren. Let me say this. I do appreciate whatever it took in my past to get me to where I am through ancestors. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know my family tree that well. But definitely 100% I want to meet my grandchildren.
I know
my
you do.
great-grandchildren.
Right. Yeah, you're stoked about that right now.
In fact, if anyone here is listening and they want to send me a shirt, just send me a shirt that says hashtag is for the baby.
There you go.
What about you, man?
I want to go to the past. I would like to know, like, I guess where I kind of came from, or, you know, what kind of built me up. Or maybe there was somebody in the past that thought or looked like I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to put it that way.
Yeah, because I don't have any blood grand or children to have grandchildren with. I think my past would be a little bit more interesting for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Good enough. All right. Well, let's come sliding into home with this one then. Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere or read minds?
Teleport. I don't want to know what everybody's thinking.
But you want to be able to, like, what? Go to certain spots in time?
Yep. I'd just like to be able to blink my eyes and end up wherever the hell.
All right, I got to get something off my chest here. What the fuck is it with every podcast you want to like be blink man, blinky power, blink,
sometimes
teleport.
I just want to cut out, dude, and I just want to be out of here. I don't want to deal with any of the bullshit. I just want to be able to, like, I dream a genie, blink, and you're fucking out of here, or I'm out of here, or something.
Can
it's
I
quick.
start calling you Blinky?
You can call me Blinky.
That your new nickname?
All right.
All right.
Blinky.
So Drew and Blinky.
Drew and Blinky. Okay. I don't think it's going to stick.
Oh, it's totally going to stick.
What are we talking about today, dude?
Well, kind of like along the lines of teleportation, let's talk about something which I know is pretty interesting to you.
I was going to say, I know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And
you love this shit.
This shit just boggles my mind, bro. What we're going to touch on the missing 411. If you're not aware of what the missing 411 is, like weird cases of when people go missing. Thousands of people.
Right.
Yeah, it's happened to thousands of people in random places. A lot of it happens like in national parks and stuff.
It's always in a remote area or a national park.
Right. And these people go missing under weird circumstances where people have seen them 2 seconds prior and gone back to the place where they were, you know, just a second ago, and they're just completely gone. And it's just, this stuff fascinates me.
Right. So you've been talking to me about this for a while. And I know you've been wanting to do a podcast on this.
Right.
So I finally, the last couple of weeks, have been diving in, doing some research. There's a couple documentaries on television that you can watch. One right now is on Hulu.
Yep.
And it's just called The Missing 411. And there's another one that I found on Amazon Prime, and it's called Missing 411 The Hunted.
Right.
So both of these documentaries are like 4 or 5 different cases. Okay, so like just to kind of backtrack a minute. So originally there were books written. There's 8 books written.
Right. There's an old sheriff out there. His name's David Politis, and he covers a lot of this. You can find him on YouTube, and it's pretty big.
Yeah, if you jump in that rabbit hole, prepared to be there for a while.
Right. Yeah, because it's really interesting.
So yeah, essentially what it is he's compiled a list of these 12 or 1,300 cases where people have essentially just vanished into thin air. While out, whatever, hiking, hunting, hanging out, having a picnic, camping. I mean, you name it. There's all different kinds of scenarios, but they just vanish.
And there's usually, like I say, there's people around. So it's not like they're all isolated or they went out by themselves, fell down a mountain or something. These are cases where people are there with them, and I'm going to use my word, they blink and they're gone.
Fucking blinky.
But basically that's how some of these stories act. A lot of this happens around, for whatever reason, granite and water. Some people.
Right. So when it comes to the people that have gone missing, first of all, what's interesting, and again, I just want everyone to know I'm not stating any of this shit as facts, because I don't know, and I'm definitely not a missing 411 expert. I have spent the last couple of weeks watching and reading a ton of shit, but that doesn't really mean anything, because, I mean, anybody can post anything anywhere. So
story's a story.
Right. If you're a kooky-ass Clarky conspiracy theorist, yeah, I'm talking to you, Clark, you probably are on the other end of the spectrum where you're just gobbling this shit up going, yep, told you so.
It's kind of where I sit.
Yeah, he tells me probably once a week, one of these days, man, all this stuff I've been telling you is going to come true. And you're going to be like, Clarky wasn't a kook. Yeah, you're still a fucking kook, bro. But at the end of the day, let's just talk about it.
Let's talk about some of them.
We'll just talk about what's out there. We're not stating any of this to be true or false. But the thing with the missing people is they're all ages, genders, ethnicities. It's everything from 2-year-olds to 82-year-olds.
That's right.
Right.
And what makes some of these cases so strange is it's not just the fact that the people have gone missing, because some of these people come back and they're found again. But
we'll talk about that.
Okay,
talk about that. There's 3 categories when we talk about these missing people.
Okay, we can start easily, like just say children. You know, children, they're small. They don't cover a lot of ground, and a lot of these people or a lot of these kids, or just whoever, a lot of them are kids, and they'll end up going missing when their parents are right there or whatever, and they'll send out these great big search parties, and they cover the grounds. I mean, they have hundreds of people out there. They're out there for several days. You know, some of these people put up stations, you know, right there. They cover the grounds, and then in some of the cases, the people end up back right where these people have been posted up checking and looking for these people, and they come back in mysterious cases.
We'll talk about that.
Right.
But what was interesting to me was the first thing when I started looking into this missing 411 stuff is I wanted to know are they found?
Some are found,
Right.
yes.
Some are found alive.
Exactly, yep.
Right. And they have no recollection.
Or just, yeah, they'll have they just remember like walking out in the woods and things just kind of got fuzzy and they didn't realize that a whole day and night had gone by, type of like almost amnesia type stuff.
Some are found dead.
Some are found dead
in really abnormal circumstances.
Right.
Like they're stripped of their clothing.
In the middle of, say, harsh conditions or whatever.
Right. And there are logical explanations to a lot of this stuff. Hypothermia.
Of course.
Right. Like that's the biggest argument in everything I've been researching about the bodies that are found missing clothing is that it's a hypothermia.
Mm-hmm.
And, apparently you heat up so much that you end up stripping like your shoes and your clothes and stuff off of you.
Right.
What's interesting is, some are never found. Most are never found.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of the cases that I just been kind of looking at and digging into, the body's never recovered.
People are never found again.
Ever.
Right.
So, yeah, to your point, they go hiking, gal stops to tie her shoe, husband turns around, blink for me. Blinky, and they're gone.
Yep.
Thin air. And never to be seen again.
Yep, not a trace of them.
Right. And so at that point, what's crazy, and I wouldn't say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but what I will say is that it's as believable to be on the other end of the spectrum as it is one end of the spectrum.
What do you mean as far as what?
So like for every explanation you can give, hypothermia or an animal or whatever. So you have the people that don't buy into this shit, that they have an explanation for everything, right? Fell in the river, current took them down, whatever. An animal hauled. I mean, that's a big one. They talk about a lot of these they believe to be animals preying on like these kids, and they just pick them up and they're so powerful that they can haul them clear up the mountain,
or even an eagle. You know
what
I mean? Grabbing a small kid.
Right, absolutely. So I guess what I'm trying to say is for every logical explanation that you could buy into, you could buy into an illogical explanation.
It could easily just be explained by, wow.
And I don't know that illogical is a word. So, Maddie, if you're listening, we're free living that.
We're free living illogical.
But I guess, does that make sense what I'm saying?
It does.
So part of it is, what I really wanted to talk about it is because I know you want me to jump on your kooky conspiracy bandwagon, but really I just want to make people think. I just want people to listen to this and think about, like maybe there is no explanation other than like what we'll talk about later, which leads to like paranormal shit or creatures and stuff like that. But I mean, why is that so far-fetched?
For it to be paranormal, or
right.
What makes it that way? Well, some of these cases, like I say, they just go unexplained, as far as anybody could say, oh, well, he fell in the river and he just drowned and he sank to the bottom and nobody found him, or a bear got him.
What's crazy about that is when these, well, let's talk, you brought up these search parties.
Right.
Okay. And again, like I wasn't there to see anything with my own eyes. Mm-hmm. So you can only go based off of what you read or what you see in these documentaries.
Right.
But these aren't like grandma and grandpa came out to help look for a kid. These are full-blown 300 people.
2-3 week, 4
horses,
week,
four-wheelers.
Helicopters.
Infrared shit.
And like nothing.
Right. And to your point, what was pretty cool in one of the documentaries, and I believe it's the first one, the one that's on Hulu, they show how like military wise or whatnot, like search party, how they grid off areas with string.
Right.
Right. They make a grid. They tie string throughout the entire forest as they go in these chunks so they know where they've been, where they've looked.
Right.
Right. And so there is water and boulders present in every one of these scenarios, right? And so these guys are in the waters with scuba divers and poles and rivers and creeks. I mean, they're poking and prodding, leaving no stone unturned. So if that's true, then they're not in the water. They would have been found. I mean, you're talking about 300 professionals. I mean, in one of these cases in this documentary, they called in the National Guard and like had Army Rangers. I mean, all sorts of shit.
Several dogs out there sniffing and stuff that can't find a scent.
Right.
Or if they do, it just leads to nowhere.
Right. So
how do you go about explaining that kind of stuff? When you have all these people and then there's just nothing, not a trace of nothing.
Well, let's talk about the similarities in all these cases.
All right.
And what's compelling and what's interesting, right, is the point of separation, right? So among all these, I don't know how old these documentaries are. So again, I'm not claiming to be an expert. Really, all it did was kind of fuck with my mind over the weekend and make me start going, what the fuck? So I want to talk about it.
See, and that's why I like thinking about this.
Right.
I don't necessarily jump on the conspiracy thing, but I'm open to everything, dude. We live in a world right now where you can't just say, I don't think that could happen, because anything's possible.
Right. So it did mess with my mind, and it was really, really interesting.
As it should, yeah.
And so I thought it would be really, really fun to talk about. But let's just go over some of these points. Okay. So at the time that this documentary, and I don't know when it was actually published or produced or whatnot, but that Politis guy said there's 1,200 cases that are not documented. They don't have a list of these people. And he claims that the government's reason was it was too expensive to create a list, like $1 million. I think the documentary says that he was told it would be $1.4 million to create and manage this list, which, I mean, $1 million sounds like a lot of money, but when you're talking about government shit and like finding missing people or figuring out why they're going missing, then that doesn't seem like very much money, right?
Yeah.
The next one would be the time of disappearance. So they're all around the same time of the day, right? So these aren't people that are getting abducted in the middle of the night while sleeping in a tent.
Yeah, this happens 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, which is generally when it is.
Right.
They're out doing something, fishing, hiking, hunting.
Picnics.
Yeah, and they're just gone. But what's interesting is amongst all these cases, that time of disappearance is always around the same time.
Right. A lot of correlations with these come into play, with a lot of these being different, different situations. A lot of them have a lot of the same similarities.
Well, these are all the similarities.
Right.
Like I said earlier, they're always around boulders and water.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's always around either high granite places or water. A lot of people think, and on the paranormal side of that is just that there's a lot of energy in that, or people think that granite and water can open up maybe portals or something. So that's where the paranormal thing comes in with some of these things, or just the fact that it happens randomly and anywhere. There's not a set place that, it only happens in Yosemite National Park, or it only happens in the Uintas. No, this shit happens everywhere.
Well, and speaking of that, like the geographical clustering, I mean, it's like multiple, like 3 up to 50 to 100, all in the same little cluster in the same area across the world.
Right. Yeah.
The world.
Yep. You'll have clusters and groups of, it happened in this spot, and it wasn't this one dude. It's been 5 people.
Right.
And it's happened in this spot. And like you say, all the same things tie in. One thing that David Politis ties on, and he really hits home with this one when he talks, is, guys, if you're out there and you're hiking and you're with people and whatever, he's never come across a case where somebody's gone missing who either had these 2 things, not one or the other, but these 2, a locator beacon and a gun. Nobody's ever come up missing in those situations.
Well, yeah, they have.
No, people have come up missing with, if he had a gun.
Oh, you mean with both of them?
Both of them.
Okay.
Yep. There's never been a case where someone's gone out, had both of those items on them, and went missing. Why is that? It's weird. There's been people that have gone missing that had beacons, and the beacon signal just is gone, or people that go missing that have guns, or even on some of these cases where they find these people, you know, they'll, like you were talking about, you know, some of them have their clothes removed, you know, in the middle of winter, and you talk about hypothermia and it makes your brain think weird shit. Well, some of these people are found where they've got their clothes, not only are they removed, but they're folded up nicely and sat on a log somewhere. And, you know, and then another 200 feet down somewhere else, their guns found just placed up against a log somewhere. And then, yeah, it's just weird shit.
What I thought was interesting too is after every disappearance comes a major weather event.
Yeah.
Big snowstorm, big rain,
right?
Gust. I'm talking not like a major weather event.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty interesting. Again, I say, if that's true, then that's pretty interesting. Because like there's the one case where the hunter went missing. It was 55 degrees. They're out hunting. All of a sudden he goes missing, misses his checkpoint, whatever, dot. Next thing it's 12 degrees and dumps 2 feet of snow.
And you got to remember, a lot of these people that go missing are avid outdoorsmen. They know
most of them.
Yeah, they know these areas like the back of their hands, and they shouldn't have gone missing in the first place. You know, a lot of them, like with these kids that go missing, what makes it weird for me is the distance. Say if the kids ended up found, and in a lot of these cases, the kids are found alive, but they're just hella far away. They're like 45 miles an hour or 45 miles away. They've been missing for 12 hours, and they're found in a cave somewhere, missing their shoes. And when they find this kid, they found their shoes like maybe a mile away from where they went missing. But then the rest of the 45 miles, this kid traversed on his own. He ends up in a cave, and then they look at the kid's feet, and there's nothing wrong with the kid's feet.
So there's a couple cases where the parents have been told that these kids were taken by animals,
right?
Like mountain lions and stuff. But it's really interesting if you watch the again, and I don't know, like I did some research on the documentaries, and then you have all the extremists to the other side that say, oh, he's not telling the whole story, and he left this out, and he left that out of the report. He's only reading the parts of the report that he wants to read to make you believe his side of the story and the kooky shit, and maybe, you know, the beauty about the world we live in is that you can be given information and process it how you want.
Yeah.
Right? And from there, you can form your own opinions. I'm of the opinion, I'm like you, I do kind of keep an open mind. I would not say that I'm a Clarkie and on the kooky ass, you know, conspiracy shit about everything. I mean, that guy would try to tell you that microphone is somehow tied to Jeffrey Epstein, but
right. No, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, you can't tie all of them to just chalking it off to aliens and Bigfoot and fucking weird shit. And no, I'm of sound mind that I feel the same way. No, it's not all going to be paranormal. There is cases where people can just go missing or whatever, and people don't find them or whatever. But what it is with the missing 411, it's not just people going missing. It's not someone walking off in the woods and being, you know, not being found. This is shit. People are disappearing. They're coming up, just gone. Not walking off in the woods and not coming back. There's cases of people walking up a trail. Someone stopped to tie their shoes. Someone saw them 2 seconds prior. Literally 2 seconds prior. They turn around, that person's gone. They didn't fall off a mountain. They didn't go running anywhere. And then there's weird cases as well where some dudes will go running somewhere. Did you hear any of those ones?
Where what?
Where there's been a couple stories where they've been talking, you know, they were out camping or whatever, and so Joe just gets up and goes running out in the woods.
And then disappears.
They can't find him. They see him go running. They're like, hey, what's Jeff doing running out in the woods? Crazy. They get up. They kind of go, you know, after he's gotten off so far, they go to find him. And then, hey, this ain't funny no more. But come to find out, Jeff is gone. He ran off and then was never found again. But there's no rhyme or reason. as to even why they left. It's like he had heard something or something in his mind told him, hey, come out here. And then in some of these cases with kids and stuff, they'll say that. They'll say, oh, there was a little kid over there, and he told me to come over here. And I went over to the kid, and then, well, what happened? Oh, I kind of got sleepy, and I fell asleep in a patch of this grass, which ends up 45 miles away.
Well, you know what else, too, is that all the missing persons in these cases have some type of disability or illness.
Or they're really smart. A lot of them are really, like, uber smart. Some of them are, like, scientists and, like, physicists and stuff. But, no, a lot of them do have the same attributes, and yeah.
And then, like what you said, too, in all these cases, the canines will pick up a scent, and then it's just gone.
Gone.
Right.
I got a brother that works with police dogs, or used to work with police dogs. And it's you know, dogs can lose a scent, you know, after so long or whatever. But in a lot of these cases, it's like the dogs will just go and then just stop. It's not like the trail kind of vanished off into somewhere.
Well, I think what else was really interesting, you kind of touched on this too, is why I was bringing up that string grid stuff, is the times they do recover the bodies and find the bodies, it's always in an area that's been searched by multiple trained professionals.
And that's exactly what I was getting at. There's one case where this little girl went out, and I think she was like 2 or 3 years old. And the point of where she had left, it was like a cornfield or something. You know, they were out by the cornfield or whatever. And they scour this cornfield. They scour out and around the cornfield, the outskirts of the town, this and that. And I think it was like 3 or 4 days later, the little girl's found back in the cornfield. Well, these people had been set up inside the cornfield, you know, looking for this little girl. And then, lo and behold, she's found out in the cornfield. But she's not just found there. She's found, and she's got a broken neck. You know, this is a 3-year-old girl. The only thing wrong with her, she's got a broken neck. And then when they do the autopsy on her, she'd only been dead for like a day. Not malnourished in any way. You know, she'd been gone for a week or whatever without any food for a 2-year-old. It's kind of, you know, probably hard for them to scrape together whatever they can eat. But then in this one case, the girl ended up dead back in the cornfield with a broken neck. I mean, yeah, maybe someone could have picked her up, I guess. Maybe it could have been an inside job on something. But some of these cases are just weird. No 3-year-old little girl is going to fall down and break her own neck. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. It is weird. You know, they talk about these, they try to chalk a lot of these little ones up to animals.
Some of these parents get blamed.
Oh, well, you're always the first suspect, parents.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you put yourself in that scenario, you're out there with your kid, and you're just doing family shit, and your little kid goes missing. How do you know what I mean? And you know damn good and well you didn't do it. You had nothing to do with it. You were just out there, whatever. Your kid shouldn't have gone disappearing, and he's gone. Some of these cases are weird.
Yeah, I agree. There is no explanation. And I don't know all 1,000+ cases. You know, I really only know the shit I've really kind of dove into on the internet, and then what's on those 2 documentaries. But they do say in the documentaries a lot of the autopsies and coroner reports are inconclusive. Right. So that's pretty weird.
Yeah, especially when they go, or like I say, you know, they find these people that have gone missing. They've been out in the woods or whatever for 2-3 weeks. They should have been gone. They don't have any scratches on them when they're found. You know, I mean, they're out in the woods. You'd think that when you're rambling around through the woods in the night and stuff, you're going to be pretty cut up. Your clothes are going to be tattered and nothing.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, how do you chalk something up to an animal attack? But your shirt's not ruffled, it's not ripped, your shoes aren't scuffed. I mean, if an animal's dragging my ass up the mountain, I mean, probably my shoes are going to get all scuffed up or something. They're not going to look brand new.
You would think. And in a lot of these cases, they're real remote. You know what I mean? I mean, the people are there with their family. How many people are in their family or whatever? And say whoever goes missing goes missing. And if they find that kid, usually this happens to kids. The kids will come back, but their clothes will be on weird.
Well, and they're so remote that they're like 5 and 8 mile dirt roads off the main road that are so bumpy and rocky that it's like an hour drive. So it's not like somebody rolled in there and kidnapped them.
Yeah, it's not like, and that's what I'm getting at. It's not like people came in and took them, you know, and went and did weird shit with them or whatever, you know, like with a lot of these cases with kids or whatever. But these kids will come back and their shirt will be on backwards and inside out, or their shoes will be on the wrong feet, or the laces will be out of their shoes, or just random weird shit, man.
Yeah. Where did you learn about this?
I don't know where exactly I learned about it, but this kind of thing has been, I've been known about it for a while, so I can't say exactly where I came from, but I used to listen to a show it was called Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell, and it was on AM radio, and this guy would talk about everything under the sun. He's kind of doing like what we're doing, but he talked more along the lines of conspiracies and stuff. And I think it started there. David Paulides started talking on the Art Bell show, and being young, 15, 16-year-old kid, that shit was just kind of interesting to me, you know, scary, you know.
These books are expensive. I was going to order the books, but they're like $100 and $200 a book. So I don't know if they're just not very many and they're such a limited commodity that people are charging, but that kind of was weird to me.
I know David Paulides was talking about how there's people on Amazon that are selling his books for outrageous prices.
$150.
Right. And then I think it just depends on the source that you go to get the book. You can probably get the books a lot cheaper, but I've heard him say himself that people are trying to make money off him. Yeah.
So the other question I had was, why don't these cases get investigated?
And why? How come when these people will go back in to open up these cases, the forestry, I don't know if you'd seen that, or some of these places put up such a fucking fuss to open it back up. Some of these forest places they don't even want to open it back up. They don't want to step back into it, and they're weird about it. You know, why wouldn't you want to open up another case if you got to thinking, oh, well, this could happen or that could happen?
Right.
A lot of these times, David Paulides will go in there and he'll be like, hey, well, I want to open up this story to see what happened, you know, 20 years ago to Mary Lou, whoever. And these parks and stuff are really weird with him, and they won't give him the information that he needs to go look for these people or the permits or whatever you need to go do it. Parks are weird in general anyway. You can't go to a lot of national parks and just like fly your drone or even film in parks. I think they just made it a law now that in these parks that you can film. Why is that? Why wouldn't you be able to go film in the great outdoors? Why would you need a permit to go, you know, set up a camera somewhere and just go film something? You can't do it. I think they just opened it up now to where it's a little bit more friendly to people that want to go do it. But up until a while ago, you know, they say, oh, you can't come out here and film. If you put up a tripod, it's going to ruin the environment type shit. I'm just saying they got a weird fucking excuse for it.
And you're saying that based on what?
What
like
do you mean
how the fuck do you know what the filming laws in the national parks are?
I've heard Davis Paulides talk about it. He'll go out there and look for these people, and he tells about the situations that he runs into when he looks to dive into these cases, and they shut him down. That's how I know.
You know what's crazy is, like, maybe we should pick one of these cases and go research it. Right? Like, what's the best way, I guess, to get answers on shit is to look at it yourself.
Yeah, jump in, feet forward, and do it.
Right? But a lot of the reasons they don't investigate these cases is because of, like, criminal background, right? Criminal activity, you know, the diseases, like I said, mental. They'll just chalk it up to, oh, he's got a mental and, you know, disease, and so he could have just wandered off and fell off the mountain. But you're right. You know what's really weird is, from the point of separation to the times they find these bodies, it's random, like so far away from, you know, like the one I was looking at or watching was that hunter one, right? And like this guy, like these guys had hunted this land so much they had caches stashed up there, you know, for when they were going on their week-long hunting trip. Caches. So how do you go up there and like strategically place shit all over the mountains that you're going to need for a week, and then all of a sudden you can't fucking find it and you're 90 miles the wrong way? You know what I'm saying?
What, like they lose the places where they put their shit?
No, like that's where he was off. He went to go get the cash for the group, and apparently instead of turning left to go where the cash is, he accidentally turned right and like wandered off 40 miles.
Right.
You know, and then along that trail is his shoes. And then, I mean, this one case, it says 9 months later, they found his backpack and his bow and arrow and his gun and shit like down next to, in the backyard of a house.
Or a lot of these cases, the people, instead of going to the most obvious place where you'd go look for help, you know, if you thought you were going to be ended up lost in the woods somewhere, don't you think you would come down from the mountain? Why would you climb up the mountain even more? Some of these people are found up even higher up on the mountain. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I mean, I guess the logical explanation is, yeah, you get cold, you get malnourished, you get dehydrated, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're wandering around in the woods. But you're right. Like, you know, what's interesting is like none of these were, oh, this is Blinky visiting Yosemite National Park for the first time and has no clue where he's going. It was my wife and I go hiking to whatever spot every Saturday and have for 30 years. And now they go take that same hike and all of a sudden she goes missing and can't figure out how the fuck to get back to the car.
Right.
You know, I mean, think about that. If you drive home every day from work for 20 years,
you're not going to forget how to get home.
Yeah.
No, I know.
So that's some food for thought.
Like I say, some of these people, they go out there and they come out with weird stories. Why are these people going in there and what's fucking with their head in the woods? Maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's something that's fucking with your head out in the woods.
I'll say this, man, as much as I claim to not be a conspiracy theorist, because I try to be more of a realist, you know, I'll tend to believe stuff more that I can prove, like, at least to myself.
You've got to be able to see it.
Right. But that's what I love about you, man. You cause me to really think outside of the box.
Yeah.
You know, and what was interesting about this, and I know the reason that you really wanted to start doing this podcast shit is you wanted to get into like aliens and conspiracy theories and like this missing 411
I
shit.
like talking about shit that people don't think about or that people just think's fucking wacky. I don't know why I like it. I just like it.
I know. That's what I love about you. So that's what's exciting about this is this opportunity. This is going to kind of lay the groundwork for the direction we're heading in.
Right.
Right. Which is we're going down that road, baby.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Kooky Clarky here next week in studio with us.
Clark's a good dude. He'll go off on some shit, some weird little tangents. I know it.
And we're gonna start going down that road. And then you and I have another little outing we're gonna do this spring.
Yep, we're gonna go look for aliens ourselves.
Right.
Yep, we're gonna go find them.
Are you scared?
No.
I don't want to be abducted by an alien.
I don't want to be probed, but I don't. I most definitely don't want to be probed, but why not? How cool would that be, dude?
That wouldn't, dude. Don't send me to Mars for 20 fucking years to do manual labor and then time warp my ass back here.
There's a question for you, dude. If you could leave planet for a minute, would you? If you could go. Like, say little green man came and picked you up and said, hey, you can come back and see what we look like over on our spot. Would you ride with him?
No.
I would.
But I wouldn't ride with Chuck if
I was
going to
say you wouldn't.
Go to
Yeah,
Maverick.
right. You're more of a realist. You like to keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I love that shit. I've always been into the weird shit, dude.
Look, at the end of the day, like you keep talking about this author, this Politis guy, he's a real big, like Bigfoot, Sasquatch creature, whatever the fuck.
Cryptids.
Yeah. Okay. So he's really into that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just talk about if it's not logical, real explanations. Like if there's nothing logistically to explain all these missing people, because I'm willing to bet if we could somehow spend the rest of our lives really looking at each case, you know, as a job, as a career, or had the time to invest in them, I bet you there's a giant portion, if not most,
that we
of
would
them,
be able to figure out.
explain.
Right.
Right. Or at least explain enough to where you could buy it, to where you could go, okay.
That's probably
Yeah, I could see a mountain lion hauling that kid off, or
right.
And you know, but I mean, I bet you there's a handful that aren't, because what's weird about it is that they just can't find the bodies. See, I would be less conspiracy theorist if they could find the bodies. Like if it was just a bunch of bodies in abnormal circumstances and random shit, like who knows?
And that's what the missing 411 is. It's not a group of stories of people that could have gone missing and someone could have taken them, or a bear could have gotten them, or whatever. No, the missing 411 is it's missing information. That's what the 411 is. It's missing information. What's not there? How come we're not getting this? How come this should all tie together, but it doesn't? These are the stories. These are the stories that don't have any explanation. That's just it. These aren't the ones that are covered with, oh, well, a bear probably took him, or oh, he was probably murdered by weird, wacky guy. The missing 411.
Cousin Eddie.
These are the stories that are unexplained.
So what do you think it is?
I don't know, man. I think...
Well, if you did know, what would you say?
In some cases, it does sound like an animal or a cryptid or like a Bigfoot type situation where, like, I don't know, maybe Bigfoot's up there in the woods taking people away. In other situations, when people just blink off the face of the earth, maybe it is aliens. Maybe it is some kind of weird portal. Maybe this water and granite situation does have something to play out. There's a lot of shit out there in the world that we don't know. You know, I've never seen $1 million, but I know it's there.
Well, you know what, too? Like there are such thing as vortexes.
That's what I'm saying.
Energy points in the world. And I've been to one.
Yeah.
Right. I've had my own personal experience in a spot, and I don't want to reveal the spot because it's kind of private to my family. But where I was just consumed and overcome with so much like emotion and energy, and I couldn't explain why. And come to find out, it was one of the like 7 vortexes in the world or whatever, like those energy points, something like that. So I do believe in that kind of kinetic energy. Is that what you would call it? Kinetic energy?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, fuck, maybe we need to get like a neurophysicist on here.
To be able to...
Someone dial up Brookles. She'll know what the fuck it's called.
Right. No, just that ambient energy from whatever reason. No, most definitely.
So, I mean, outside of realistic or logical explanations, it literally just kind of leaves what, paranormal or
it does.
Fucking Bigfoot.
Or exactly.
Right. And I'm not convinced of the fucking Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Because like with the paranormal shit, there's a lot of stuff coming out now with unidentified flying objects. I mean, a lot of our pilots and shit are releasing videos and footage. Our government's starting to kind of open up a little bit about it. But I mean, at the end of the day, the only fucking Bigfoot shit out there is that Gone Squatching show, man. And like,
right.
That dude's never seen a fucking Bigfoot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's just it. I like to choose what sounds, I guess, in my weird head, more reasonable to me. And even if it sounds like...
Because you're an alien guy.
I'm an alien guy. I'm an alien guy.
You think this is paranormal.
I think a lot of the missing 411, most definitely.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. They can't explain it. So it is paranormal.
So in a couple of these episodes, if you go back, and I would encourage anybody to watch these.
Yeah, they're
right.
Interesting.
Even if you don't end up believing in it and you think it's a bunch of malarkey, it's still pretty cool 2 hours of entertainment.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of what I wrote down here in my notes, as I just said. Like, at the end of the day, it's either true, not true, or just entertainment.
Right.
And if nothing else, it was entertainment.
I was going to say, at the end of the day, it's fun to think about.
Right.
You don't have to believe it. you know, or you can believe it. You know, my views on whatever. It's fun to think about for me, and I like to wrap my hand around that shit that you just can't explain.
Have you seen the documentaries?
Yeah,
both of them.
Yeah. Yep.
So you know, in the hunted one, they do like 3 or 4 cases of missing hunters, and then the last 2 are, well, one is the Bigfoot.
Right.
It's those dudes that have been going up to that same spot in the mountains right outside of like California and
they
Nevada.
ride the horses out there to get that stuff.
And they built that fort and sat there and recorded all those fucking
all the noises and
the
stuff.
creatures.
Right.
But they could never get a picture of it or like a video footage of it.
It's because Bigfoot's naturally blurry.
But they did, according to the documentary, they had like the world's renowned like recording expert go through all this audio and, like, you know, according to him.
Yeah, he says it's not a wolf.
Right.
It's not a person.
That's what they say on the show.
Right.
Now, I'm not an audio expert, and I don't know if the dude who they're referencing really is an audio expert. But if you believe it, according to them, they went through it and verified that this audio is real.
Right.
And then they started, it was kind of cool. They do a little breakdown of it, like how human voice boxes can't do those certain octaves and baritones and blah, blah, blah. And like an animal, this animal couldn't and that animal couldn't. So they don't know what made the sound.
Right.
And then the last one is the paranormal shit. In fact, I think the episode is called The Predator. Do you remember the movie The Predator?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's all visible and blurry and shit, hanging from the trees.
Stealth camouflage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
people see that shit.
Yeah, this lady.
Yeah, she saw that.
Right.
Yeah, she saw that blurriness in the woods.
In the trees.
Yeah, looking at her.
Right. Moving from tree to tree.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's been a few cases of that. You know, I don't know if people are watching too much Predator movies or whatever, but yeah, no, most definitely people report that weird shit, dude.
Do you think that all this legalization of weed is what's bringing this out of the woodwork?
And I ain't never seen a Bigfoot, and I smoke a lot of weed, dog.
Well, maybe you're smoking the wrong weed.
Yeah, maybe I am. I need to get some Bigfoot weed. Oh. I ain't seen aliens either, so.
Why do you believe in them so much?
Because I think that when I look up in the sky, and Carl Sagan said it best, that either way you look at it, if there's other life out there, or if there's not other life out there, each of those thoughts are equally fucking scary. And I'd hate to think that us little bald fucking monkeys running around on this little green rock that are fucking everything up and the shit that we've accomplished in this little time, we can't be the only ones. And if we are, what a fucking waste of space. That's why I believe that's what, you know, when I look up in the sky, it's like, if we're the only ones, what a fucking waste.
Yeah. So, but I mean, what you say you believe wholeheartedly that this missing 411 shit is paranormal. Like, what's the point of it? Are you saying that alien life form, or is Gordon Shumway cracking out of the creek and like taking a kid for observation?
And some of them, I think so. Yeah, I do. I think so.
But why would an alien undress you little by little down a path and then take you? That's weird too. Yeah. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, if they're going to come take you because they want to probe you, because if they take you, it's for probing purposes.
Why would a bear do it?
Calves like that, you're getting probed,
right,
my man.
Why would a bear do it? Why would another human do it?
Do what?
Leave a closed trail for people to follow.
Well, again, the main explanation is hypothermia. Because in all the cases where it's a clothes issue, it snowed and it was cold. And that's how, again, I'm just the messenger. Right. That's what they're explaining it off as, which makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, theoretically.
If it's always in the cold, but it's not always in the cold. Some of these people come out naked and missing clothes in the middle of summer, dude, with no shoes. Why are you going to take off your shoes in the middle of summer when you're walking around out in the woods?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's why it's weird.
So your explanation is paranormal.
In some of these cases, I think it is, yeah. I'm not saying in every case, no, but I do think the majority of, like, yes, the missing 411, some of it's paranormal, some of it's probably Bigfoot, some of it could be some weirdos out in the woods that just take people. You know, there's a lot of people. That's another one. Dude, we should do a show on people that just live in the woods. Because that's a weird one too.
I could see you being that guy.
I could be the dude living in the woods.
As long as you could get your Fortnite internet going.
And my cigarettes and coffee and weed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could put me in the woods for a while. I'll go live there for 20 years and report on it. But no, that's another weird thing. There's a lot of weird people that just live out in the woods that have cut themselves off from society. So maybe some of these cases are that, you know?
So you know what was crazy about that gal in that final episode of the Hunted Missing 411 is the band was practicing at the local high school right by her house, and unconnected they reported 30 of these kids who were out there and a band instructor, so like 30 people. I don't know how many of them were in the band, but they all reported essentially seeing a UFO.
You think all 30 of those kids are crazy or coming up with some bullshit?
I don't know. That's the problem, is I didn't see it. Right? So I don't know.
I don't think 30 kids would just
I don't know
come up with a story to, you know what I mean? That's
Well, and you know what? Like, really, I just kind of wanted to do this just to wet your beak a little bit, because I know this shit's in your wheelhouse, man. Missing 411, aliens, politics, conspiracy theories, Epstein, all this
love
shit.
It. I fucking love it.
So all I wanted to do today was just wet your beak, lay some groundwork for what lies ahead.
Let people think of other shit that they don't really think about. You know, maybe people haven't thought about, you know, people that go missing in the woods. You know, that's why I like talking about this shit, just to open up people's mind to think a different way and to think outside the box. It's shit that normal people don't just really think about on every day.
Right.
Most people are driving to work thinking about kids, and, you know, got to get dinner. My brain don't think like that.
So you drive to work. I wonder what the fuck happened.
I want
to
get probed.
Right? What really happened to Jared?
Jared.
Yeah, he was, I don't know, one of the kids that disappeared.
Oh, right.
You know what I think about driving to work? Fucking Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Right? That might still be the all-time best show ever put on TV.
I can see that. But
and you know how much I love Beavis and Butthead.
I
right?
do. I know.
Probably as much as you love Aliens.
Probably as much as I love you, brother.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So, final thoughts then. Talk to me. What are your final thoughts? Like, what would you tell somebody, your opinion, just, you know.
Well, on this one, if we're going to go to our question, like, is my glass half empty, half full on the missing 411? It's half empty.
No, you're never half empty.
This one's half empty because I don't know. It's half empty. I don't know which way it goes. I can't be half full on it. I can't say for sure, dude, I know this is aliens. I know this is Bigfoot. It's half empty, bro, because I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and like I said earlier, like, you can take all these books and these documentaries with a grain of salt.
Exactly. And you can look at them how you want to look at them,
right.
Wrap your head around them. We're not asking you to believe anything or not believe. We're just, saying, hey, this shit's cool to think about it. Look into it.
Yeah, especially if some of this shit that they're talking about and disclosing is true.
Right.
Then, yeah, what the hell is going on out there? Right?
Weird shit.
Really weird shit. Well, I think we've laid some pretty good groundwork for moving forward.
For moving forward with some more weird Twilight Zone.
Well, I'm going to give you your shot at the aliens.
Oh, I'm going to have to run that one, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to give you your shot at the aliens.
All right.
So, because I know that's your bread and butter.
It is.
Like, that's your favorite fucking thing in the world.
We might have to talk for 2 hours that day.
We might have to talk for 3 weeks.
There we go. I'll just walk around with a fucking mic.
Oh, and this one time. Oh, and this other time.
And I heard this one story.
He said alien. Yeah, aliens. All right. Well, so your glass is half empty.
Yeah, where are you sitting?
I mean, I'm always fucking half.
You're
empty,
always half empty.
Me.
So,
like, you can't have missing in the title of your topic and have a half full.
Exactly.
Anything.
Right.
But I don't know how much of this I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know enough about it. And I didn't want to come on here and say, hey, I'm the expert. I just wanted to come on here and say, this is pretty cool. And when you can draw that many similarities to that many similar cases in very specific geographical clusters with all having some of the same
attributes and
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's a weird.
I like your idea on maybe we should take up one of these. We'll find out, what's one of these missing 401 cases that happened here in Utah, and let's just pick it. One weekend, go kind of do a little gumshoeing in on it and checking it out for ourselves. If anything, hell, you might be able to help somebody out, or you just come up empty.
Yeah. And if nothing else, we just want anyone who listens to this to just walk away thinking,
What
"Fuck,
if?
What if?
What if?
What if that shit is true?"
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So, all right, my man. Well, it was a pleasure. It was fun.
It was fun,
It
dude.
was exciting. I hope that got you excited to talk about something you enjoy,
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, this is neat shit.
and I'll look forward to going down this conspiracy tunnel with you down as we move into the future.
Yeah, we'll open you up a little bit more. We'll pull you in here.
All right, brother.
Welcome to my world.
Welcome to my world.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Peace out.